Hello, hello everyone, to story time with the Wimberleys. Grab your pillow and blanket and let's get ready for story time. Today's story is Red Wagon by Renata Liwska. Let's get ready to read. Lucy had a brand new little red wagon. Here's Lucy. Lucy is a fox, and she's carrying a red wagon. She wanted to play with it immediately. She asked her mother, "Sure, you can use your wagon to go to the market." There's Lucy's mom, and there's Lucy. That sounded like a chore. Lucy didn't want to do chores. Here's Lucy, and she's looking at this long list of chores her mother gave her. But she set out to the market. She pulled her red wagon up the hill. Here's Lucy, and she's pulling her red wagon up the hill. And it looks like she has some friends behind her. And we have a rabbit, a porcupine, and a squirrel. Oh, and there's a mouse right here too. It was pretty heavy. So here's Lucy again. She's pulling her wagon, and her friends are jumping in. That's why it's really heavy. At the top of the hill, it started to rain. Look at all the raindrops. Oh, brother. Lucy quickly pushed the wagon down the hill. So here's Lucy. She's in her red wagon. She has her friend Porcupine, Rabbit, and Raccoon behind them. And it looks like they're rushing down the hill on like a water slide. By the time she got to the bottom, it was really coming down. See the dark clouds in the sky, all the rain everywhere. And then we have Lucy in her red wagon, her friend Rabbit, Porcupine, and Raccoon. And it looks like they're playing pretend, because Raccoon has a pirate ship, and you can tell because he has the pirate flag with the skull and crossbones. Soon the rain stopped and the sun came out. She continued on her way. So we got Lucy, she's pulling her wagon, and it looks like they're playing Wild Wild West. They have on cowboy hats, and Lucy looks like she's a sheriff. She has a sheriff badge on. At last, Lucy arrived at the market. So we have Lucy here. Lucy has on roller skates, and she's twirling some rings. And at the market, they have, looks like cotton candy, ice cream cones, a fruit stand. Lucy neatly loaded the wagon with the vegetables from her list. What vegetables do we see here? We have carrots that Raccoon is holding. We have a pumpkin. These look like apples. And it looks like they're in a circus tent. You have a few of her friends who are doing tricks. And this one right here, I think this is Rabbit. He's being an acrobat. And she hauled them back up the hill. So we have Lucy, she's the conductor of the train, and they're bringing all their shopping list items back up the hill. She was almost down again when the wagon hit a rock. Uh-oh. So they came down the hill, and here's the rock they hit. And they're in the red wagon right here, but the red wagon has changed or turned into a rocket ship. And all the vegetables they got at the market are flying in the air. And you have Raccoon, who's in a spaceship, and he looks like he's an alien. He has 3 eyeballs. Luckily, the wagon was okay. So was Lucy. She gathered the vegetables and put them back into her wagon. So it looks like they're now playing maybe construction, and they have a bulldozer, and the bulldozer is pushing all the vegetables back into the wagon. And I think this here is a crane, and it's putting the pumpkin back in the wagon. When she got home, her mother was waiting for her. "Thank you, Lucy. What a big help." So here's Lucy. She brought all the vegetables back to her mom, and she still has her friend Porcupine with her. And here's her mother, and it looks like with all her brothers and sisters. She has a lot of brothers and sisters. Finally, Lucy was free to play with her wagon. And here's Lucy in her wagon, and she's fast asleep. The end.